Let's go back to our breaking news story now. You can only but imagine the harrowing scenes in Orlando this morning as 14 people have been shot and killed at a tavern in Orlando. 13 died at the scene, and we do of course believe that one died in hospital. There are 3 that are still in critical condition as things stand at the Baragwanath Hospital. Of course, our reporter Nqobile Madlala has arrived on the scene. Let's cross over to her now for the latest. I would say a very good morning, Nqobile, but I can only imagine what you're seeing does not constitute a good morning. If you could just, with the greatest sensitivity, paint the picture for us as to what exactly it is you're seeing there.
Well, at this point, Morena, you can just see there's communities that have come out to hear what is happening. In fact, when we just arrived here, we're speaking to a lady that was coming out to speak to us, asking us if we had known of more information. She says she's also looking for a child, and she's unaware as to what happened to her child at this moment. We know that they're saying that we must move out of the way because they're saying that forensics is already inside and they want to drive out as well. So there's quite a lot that's happening in there. We're not allowed to go in just yet. But families, of course, Morena, have heard what has happened here, and they've come in numbers to come and see if their people are alive. And in fact, I'm now joined by some of those families that are just standing here trying to get as much information as they can as the scene here, of course, unfolds. We know that PC is already inside and that he is speaking to the higher management and just sort of briefing them what happened in the early hours of today. And I want to bring in the family that is, of course, has had to hear such bad news. I can imagine the kind of pain that the family is going through. What happened? How many of your family members are here?
It's very painful ngoba ngivuswe ekseni icall bangitshela ukuthi abafowethu sebelimele abantwana bakabhuti wami mina ubhuti wami abantwana bakhe ne ama siblings nje ethu i3 the nangu umuntu ufike eqala esinini before ngithole yena but ngathola sebavalelwe kenye indlu isin busy ngesini iland forensic then by oyi1 sesibedlela abayi2 bashonile la balele la. It's very painful, kubhlungu kakhulu kuthina as a family, and mina ngisuke ekhaya ngibuye ekhaya ngifike ekseni ngabo2 izolo benginabo labafana ngabathatha ngemoto during the day entambama mangishonilanga ngenza sure ukuthi ababuyele endlini ngathatha umfana wami uSanda ngabuya nabo ngenza sure ukuthi ba safe kanti bazoza la kwenzeke lesibicongo nangu umuntu ofike eqala.
Yeah. Siyabonga bompela ke ngikubize nje futhi yona uthi bompela ufike eqala uzweni ubonene.
Cha sisi ngifike eqala kungakena kodwa ke ngifike into eseyenzekile ngoba nami ngithole icall ngisendleleni ebuye emsebenzini ngo12 ngifonelwa umunye umfana omncane wasekhaya wathi ingane zakhe ithi sezishonile ezimbili zidutshuliwe. Futhi nami mangifika ngafuna ngathola ingane zilele phansi ngafike ngafuna lizi ukwenza sekhaya ngayithole yodwa mangifuna enye kwakhona bangisiza ukuthi leyo beyisaphila bayiphuthumise esibedlela. So nje sisi kubhlungu kakhulu buhlungu ngilimele.
Obani but bakena bashonele bancane nginawe badala nginawe?
Bancane sisi ngoba ingane incane ya 98 eshonile lene esesibedlela ya 94.
Nizokwenza njani ke manje?
Sisokwamanje angazi ukuthi nesoyenza. Okwamanje ungakazi ukuthi nesoyenza. Kuselikhulu ngoba njengoba sila eGoli nje amakhaya aseNatal kusamele ngihlanganise nefamily ukuthi sibone ukuthi sizokwenza njani suthina ayikabikho into engayisho manje ukuthi sizokwenza njani. Yeah.
Manje baba mangabe nifika la nizwa ngabantu bathini kunina bathi yini eyenzakalile?
Ya umfana oyena ngifonele osindiye kuyo lento omncane naye uthe bephuzwa kwafika nje abantu abavele bafika bangena bavulela ngenhlavu badubula nje kwamuntu bengaphakathi. Ayikho into abayikhulumile mayesho lo mfana uthi akunalutho abalikhulumile bafike nje bavulela ngenhlavu kwayiloko mabeqeda lapho baphuma bahamba labo bantu.
Manje labantu bafike kanjani? Bafike behamba kade khona ade wegibele bekonzakalana.
Inkulumo ekhulunywayo ke sisike eyenzwa bethi bathi bebehamba ngequantum. Bathi asazi noma iqiniso yini kodwa kuthiwa abantu bafike behamba ngequantum ukuthi iquantum linjani ke asazi. Ngoba nathi sifike sekwenzekile nje.
Wafika wabona nje mawufika ungena ubone kunjani?
Sesema ngifika ngabona nje ngiqale ngabona abantu bebabili bebelele la ngaphandle ngabuka kubo ukuthi laba engibafuna abekho yini ngathola ukuthi akubona ngawungena ngaphakathi endlini bafike ngathola abantu abaningi bebelele phansi endlini bese beshonile ngazama ukuthi ngiloko ngibaphenya ngifuna labe engibafunayo ngamthola lo yedwa mangifuna lo nomnye ngakamtholi ngasizwa abanye osise bese bekhona bathi cha lo umfunayo uphuthunyiswe esibhedlela yebo benjalo nje.
Hayi baba siyaxolisa ngento enenzakalele. Ake sithembe nizothola more information and also abantu baphile. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is the family of 3 people. We understand that we're in the saga. Now we can see some of the families, we understand they're here. You can see the emotions. There's quite a number of people that have come out here to basically get the information. You can see that woman in the car, she's very emotional. Can't speak to her right now, but you can see that she's also going through the same pain that we have heard from these relatives. They're saying that when they got here, they got to see what was happening. They saw, he says, there was 2 people that were outside that were already passed on. They're saying that there was quite a number of people that came in here. They're saying it was a quantum. They have heard, and these, of course, allegations that have not been proven at this point. They're saying they were in a quantum. They came in, and it's apparent that they started shooting at everyone that was here. Now, we understand that the young people that were here were also here to enjoy themselves because this is an area where they used to drink. The elderly, just the uncle, they're speaking to us, telling us that he brought them here. Now, these people are from KZN, the one that we spoke to, the ones that have been affected. They're from KZN. He says he brought them here to their homes, but he had no idea they were going to come to this tavern. And when they got here, this incident happened. Now we know that there's a lot of investigation from the PC. They said the current investigations are ongoing. We know that the tavern is just inside there. We know that forensics is also inside. So they're still doing quite a lot of investigations in terms of what occurred. But the community, of course, still shaken. A number of people coming out to see if their relatives are part of that incident that has occurred here. It's, of course, difficult for many families to receive these news, especially the one that we've spoken to. 3 people, 3 of their people, one of them being in hospital. They want answers, of course. They want to know what happened, but at this point there's not much that they can do. So we're going to try and see what is happening here. The community is coming out to see the incident. So it's quite a difficult moment. You can just hear some of those people speaking. There's a lot that people want to know in terms of this tavern, in terms of what happened. So coming out in their numbers to see the incident. But you could hear from the relatives that were here that they want to know what happened. They want to know what happened to their people. And of course, it's such a difficult time for them to have to hear such news. You could hear the emotion from one of their older brothers speaking. We'll see if we can't get anyone here to hear if they can speak to us. Baba ngakhuluma nathi benikhona la mangabe dutshulwana nizwe?
Yeah, past Devon manje we don't know any information right now.
All right, but did you hear any gunshots?
Yeah, we hear some gunshots.
Kwenzakalani?
Hey, there are many gunshots that we heard. Yes, so we don't have information right now.
All right. Baba nina anisabi ukuthi njengoba kunabantu abadutshuliwe nje kanje mhlambe nani ningalimala?
Hayi okwamanje ngithi siyasaba ngoba sokukhona nengalo yomthetho.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean la manihlala la kujwayele vele ukudutshulana la?
Hey, ibhamu sijwayele ukuzizwa noma singazi ukuthi kwenzekani. Yeah.
Nizizwa khona la etavern noma nje endaweni?
Around nje indawo yonke le.
Yonke indawo.
Yeah, yonke indawo.
mama ungathanda ukukhuluma nathi sifuna nje ukuza ukuthi wena uzweni bathini mangabe besho nizweni. Oh, okay. No. So not everyone is obviously keen to speak to us, but we can hear from that gentleman there. He's saying that they're used to seeing or hearing gunshots in the area, but he says it's not specifically just the tavern. He's saying that it's also the fact that they hear these gunshots around the area. But he says that they're not scared at the moment because he says that they feel that with the police being around, and of course you can see them, just going to pass some of the police officers here. He's saying that because they are now around, they're not scared. In fact, they feel confident that the police will find in terms of what's happening. But there you have it. As you can see there, forensics is still here. Okay, so now from what we heard from the family, they're hearing that from 4 o'clock, Morena, that's when they arrived. But a lot of people saying that midnight is the time when they started hearing those gunshots. But of course, police on the scene and investigating.
Just from what you can see, Nqobile, we want to make sure that we have the name of the establishment correct. I think if we saw the visuals that are coming from your colleague there, zooming into the establishment, it says Mdlalose's Tavern, and of course initially we were speaking about it being Nomzamo's Tavern. So if you could just correct us, is it Mdlalose's Tavern or is it Nomzamo's Tavern?
Well, we are going to find out. We're actually going to ask the people, so we're going to go back. The police are asking us to not come close to the scene. It seems we have passed the point where we're allowed to, but we're going to ask from the people that we spoke to earlier on to just find out what the tavern is called. But at the moment, you can see the police are still very touchy. They don't want us exactly close by because there's still a lot of investigations. But from what we could see, we could already see that there's some of the people that got shot at, their bodies still there. So it seems forensics is still very much busy. So we're going to try now and go to the crowd and find out about that exactly, Morena, in terms of what is the name of the tavern. So we're going to ask this gentleman again. Baba, ngiyazi ukuthi sikhulumile nawe, but igama le tavern yini?
Kuthiwa kusemazulwini.
Isemazulu akhona eNomzamo.
Indawo iNomzamo.
So iNomzamo ila.
Yeah.
All right. And itavern yakhona nje abantu bajwayele ukujabula khona.
Yeah, abantu bajabula khona impela. Yeah.
Ke kube indawo engana, indawo encane, indawo enkulu.
Indawo encane nje ukuthi lo bantu abafikile ngaso sikhathi bayijabulela. Babuka ibhola abanye. Yeah.
Indawo vele nijwayele.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Morena, you can hear there from the gentleman. He's saying the tavern is called Emazulwini, right? So he says the area, however, is called eNomzamo. So that, I suppose, clears exactly what we were trying to figure out. But he's saying that this is the area where a lot of people will come, especially to watch soccer. He says it's not a huge area. He says it's quite a small area, but a lot of people come here to just entertain themselves and to watch things like soccer and to enjoy themselves. But of course, he's saying that the incident happened in the midnight in there.
All right, Nqobile, as of course you try and find as much information as you possibly can, we will leave it there with you for now, but this is a developing story. Investigations are, as we are seeing the police present there at the Nomzamo Informal Settlement. So that's what it is, Nomzamo Informal Settlement. That establishment, of course, as we are seeing from our cameraman Kamuelo's pictures, it is Mdlalose's place, of course, as we're hearing as well from one of the patrons that was there. He says before or around 11 o'clock in the evening. Of course, this is something that does not necessarily at that establishment, but takes place in and around the area of Nomzamo, where they will hear shootings and gunfire from a distance. So that then, I suppose, speaks to the idea that this is not an isolated incident. This is not something that just, shocked the system. People that are in and around that place do sometimes, although it's not to this scale of a massacre, they do tend to hear some gunfire. But again, unconfirmed reports, of course, coming from Nqobile Madlala is that these assailants did come, of course, the assailants, of course, were there in a Quantum, of course, a minibus, Quantum minibus, but we are going to try and get that confirmation. I would imagine the police, as per the investigations ongoing, will be the ones that are going to be bringing us that information. But again, Nqobile, we'll leave it there with you. Of course, we'll definitely be touching base with you throughout the course of this day as the story continues to develop.